Hello, people of the World Wide Web. So I watched a video a few weeks ago from the YouTuber Kala's Cool. I've been following her for a while, and she kind of made her return to YouTube after a while by talking about her current obsessions. So I kind of got inspired by that to do a 2023 obsessions now that we're like halfway through January, I think. So just to kind of recap on the last year, because I would classify myself as a fangirl, if you will. I have a lot of obsessions and things in media and whatever that I like, so I love talking about them, so let's talk about them. The first thing I want to talk about is TV shows. I actually watched a lot of TV shows this year, which pretty proud of myself. I think I started off the year finishing Teen Wolf. I think I originally started watching that show like while it was airing on MTV, like when my sisters would watch it, and then once obviously that was over and then streaming platforms became a thing, then I started watching it again and started actually trying to like watch the whole thing. But I got to the last season and I think I literally had 5 episodes left, and I was like, yeah, no. Like, I got to a specific episode in the last season where I was like, there's too much that has to happen in these last 5 episodes that I don't even know if I want to see it happen. But I finally committed this year because they had announced that the Teen Wolf movie was coming out, so I was like, okay, well, I have to watch that right when it comes out, so I have to finish the show. So I made it my goal, and I think I finished it in like 2-3 months maybe, and it became a completely full-blown obsession. I was super into like niche memes and stuff when I was like middle school, early high school, when that was like a huge trend. So I love making these little, like, I'll insert a picture here, kind of like, I make them for like, I make original characters for a lot of the things that I like. So the one I'm showing you here is for my Teen Wolf character that I made up, and obviously my boyfriend is Stiles Stilinski, because who else would I be dating? Sorry, Lydia, but you know. Yeah, I just love making those, so that's kind of a trend. Another obsession of mine that I have been really into is making those, but they like coincide with the obsessions that I already have. Like, I make them for those obsessions, if that makes any sense whatsoever. I had a sweatshirt when I originally started watching Teen Wolf back in like middle school. I of course bought a Beacon Hills Lacrosse Stiles Stilinski sweatshirt, but it was a little bit too small, so my sister has a Cricut, and I've been obsessed with forcing her to make me things, so she made me a new hoodie when I was watching the show, and I like would not take it off while I was watching it. Like, I probably wore it for like weeks straight. Like, it was bad, but yeah, I love that hoodie. I'm obsessed with it. I'll also insert a picture here maybe if I can find something, or I'll have to take a new picture because all the pictures I probably have of me in it are me crying over watching the show, but maybe I'll insert that too, who knows. I'm not sure exactly what show I started watching next, but we'll just go with Hannibal. I started getting a bunch of videos about that show on my TikTok, and I just decided, okay, this looks good, I should watch it. I had never even seen Silence of the Lambs, actually, so I did actually watch that movie first. I still need to watch the other two, Red Dragon and Hannibal, but yeah, I watched Silence of the Lambs just because I was like, I just want to get the basic understanding, and then I watched the TV show, which, again, you definitely don't need to watch the movie, any of the movies, before you watch the show. I think they're similar enough, but they're also different enough that it doesn't really matter. Hugh Dancy and Mads Mikkelsen. Did I probably say their names correctly? No, but you get the point. Love them, amazing. Totally am a Hannah Graham shipper. Sorry, I'll say it, like, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, that show was amazing. One thing that pissed me off is I was watching it on Hulu, I think, and then right as I had like literally 2 episodes left, they took it off. They took it off of Hulu. So I think they had it on like Tubi or something, that like free like streaming platform, but you could, like, that has ads or whatever, so I had to watch it on there, which not a big deal, but it was just like, I was so close and I was so pissed. So yeah, that show's really, really great. The like aesthetics of it are amazing, like just the fan base is super cool, like So another show that I had been watching when it was originally airing as a kid was Sherlock, BBC's Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman. And I loved that show, was completely obsessed with it, all my sisters were. But I was a kid, so I didn't really super remember a whole bunch of it. I have watched A Study in Pink, like the pilot episode, an uncountable amount of times. I don't even know how many times I've watched it. But I hadn't watched the show fully all the way through, probably since it actually like aired and whatever. Like I kind of remember watching the last season with my family, but I don't remember what it was. So it was kind of like a fresh new experience of watching it, so that was kind of cool. Yeah, I finally got all the way through that this year. Really loved it, obsessed with it, completely obsessed with it. Surprised I haven't made a little niche meme original character for Sherlock yet, but now that I'm talking about it, I'm definitely going to do that afterwards. So here's that picture if I decide to actually make it. Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch, Martin Freeman, just them together as Sherlock and John Watson are just incredible. Like, no one's done it better. I mean, I do love the RDJ movies, but still, you know what I mean? I'm also a Funko Pop collector, and I have made it my mission over the past few months to try and collect all of the Sherlock Funko Pops. I started finding them at Half Price Books, and then I just got like 4 of them for Christmas. So again, here's a picture of all of those. I think I'm missing 3 now, and they are all Sherlock ones. I'm missing the 3 Sherlock ones. I think I only have 1 of him. I think they came out with 4 Sherlock Funko Pops for this collection. Hopefully I can complete that collection soon. And the last TV show I'm going to talk about today is The O.C. It is a CW show. I don't think I super watched it when it was originally airing, but my sisters definitely did. My sisters were super into it. They're honestly the only reason I know even what it is. I actually haven't finished this show yet. I started watching it back in early August, maybe end of July. And I'm on the last season now, actually. I just finished the 3rd season, like, a few days ago, actually, like sometime last week. I have 1 season left, and I hopefully, fingers crossed, should be finishing it by the end of the month. Sometimes I'm really bad at watching TV shows, and I will leave things unwatched for a long time. Like, I still haven't finished The Bear, and I think I have 1 episode left. So, but I love that show. It's a great show. But yeah, here is my OC character, an OC, you know, LOL. I mean, it's Adam Brody. I love that show. I love the whole cast. I love Kirsten and Sandy are the best characters. Also Summer is actually the best character. I take that back. Summer is for sure 100% my favorite character and the best character in the entire show. So, love her. Moving on to movies that I watched last year, I feel like I watched a lot more, but these were just the 2 that really stood out to me and came to mind while I was making this list, I guess. The first one being Fresh, starring Daisy Edgar-Jones and Sebastian Stan, 2 of my favorite actors ever. I love them so much. They are so incredible. Fresh is probably the best psychological thriller I have seen in a while. I went into it not knowing anything about the movie, and if I'm not going to say anything about it, because if you don't know anything about it, you should go watch it and watch it that way. My family decided to watch the trailer before we watched it, but I literally plugged my ears, said la 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 la, and closed my eyes because I did not want to see what it was about at all. I just wanted to go into it blind, because that's like one of my favorite things to do with movies. Because I'm a freak, I guess. I don't know. But, like, don't get me wrong, I love a good movie trailer, but I like a movie trailer when the movie's gonna come out, like, months later, and I'll forget what the trailer is about for the most part. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I'm weird like that, I guess. I like to be, like, surprised by it, you know? But, yeah, like, them together, that was just, oh my gosh, crazy, and I wish that that movie got talked about more and everything, because, like, I can't, like, I want merch for it, like someone give me merch for it, but like I can't really find anything, I guess. Like, I don't know, maybe I haven't looked hard enough or something, but I need to find that little niche community on the internet that really likes the movie Fresh, I guess. But like, yeah, and all of the stuff that Sebastian Stan was posting, like, I love going back through and like looking at his old Instagram stories about like what he was posting at the time, like when they were filming and everything. Oh, it was so good. Such a good movie. Highly, highly recommend. The second movie that I watched was Garden State, starring Zach Braff and Natalie Portman, directed by Zach Braff. I love Zach Braff. I thought this movie was so completely incredible. The soundtrack is amazing. I own it on CD and I listen to it all the time. Like, it is just such an incredible soundtrack. Like, the first song, the last song, the scenes with those songs, like, oh, it's just so incredible. And I think it is just like, I think it's such a good representation of mental health and like the dynamics of his family and everything. And I just like, it's just an incredible movie. I've rewatched it, I don't even know how many times. Probably one of my favorite movies. I have a long list of favorite movies, but I'll add it to it. Speaking of movies, I tried to get more into film journaling this year as well. So here are my pages for those 2 movies that I talked about, because I did actually get to journal them. That is something that I want to do a lot more, and definitely put more movies that I've watched like prior in it. But yeah. So moving on to the next category, I actually finished my Goodreads goal of reading 10 books last year, so I was pretty proud of myself. But my favorites of the year, we'll start with Normal People, which was my all-time favorite book I read last year. I think it even knocked Catcher in the Rye was my favorite book for a long time. I think it knocked Catcher in the Rye out of its #1 spot and taking the #1 spot as my favorite book of all time, because that book was just so incredible. And the TV show that followed it, I don't know why, actually, now thinking about it, I didn't put Normal People on my list for TV shows, but I guess I'll just kind of loop it in here, since, you know, they go together, I guess. But just so incredible. Sally Rooney, I haven't read anything else by her yet, but I own Conversations with Friends. I'm hoping to read that in the new year. But yeah, Normal People, I highly recommend reading that book as a physical book. I have a Kindle as well, but something about reading it like physically and being able to underline things and write little notes just felt so special to me. And I ended up going back through and handwriting everything that I had underlined that I thought was like, you know, important or like a good quote, and I wrote it all down like on my iPad actually, in just like a little note, so I could always have it and like always refer back to it. And I wrote like what page it was on and everything. So that book is so incredible, and I had the most incredible experience finishing it. I was alone on like this little tiny beach, and there was like nobody around, and it was just such an amazing experience. And it felt so like, I mean, as much as the end of that book kind of crushes your soul a little bit, not to spoil, but it felt so healing in kind of a way. It was just a really beautiful experience, and I think it's something that I'll cherish for a long time. So moving in a completely different direction, my next favorite book of the year was Icebreaker. That was actually the first book I read of 2023, and I think I read it in 48 hours, and let's just say, in my opinion, it lived up to the hype. I know it's a super popular book talk, like, girly book, and I loved it, okay? I love Stassi, I love Nate, I love all the characters. I'm so incredibly excited for all the rest of the books. I did really like Wildfire as well, the second in that series, and I'm so excited for Daydream, which is Henry's book. But yeah, I think it was just, I mean, like, it is a dumb, like, hockey sports romance book. Like, it's not gonna be like, that's what I love about reading, is I can read Normal People, this book that I feel like changes me and like makes me see the world in a different light and everything, and then I can read Icebreaker, which is about, you know, a figure skater and a hockey player starting a relationship. Like, it's just silly things like that. Like, it's not like the most monumental book I've ever read, right? But it's still something that I enjoyed and I felt like I couldn't put down until I finished it, and I find myself wanting to reread all the time. And like, I love looking back through my highlights of it because I think they're funny and like all of that, and it's just, I don't know, I think it's silly, and I thought it was a really cute book, and I love them, and I made a Pinterest board for that book as well. I started a Pinterest board called Characters from Books, and it's literally just like, I think so far I only have Icebreaker by Hannah Grace and Shut Out by Avery Keelan. It's just fun to be able to like make these little Pinterest boards and like make this board of like what I think the characters look like and what I think, like, you know, certain aspects of the book or the universe look like and whatever. I just think it's so cute. I love it. I love reading. And then the third book that I want to talk about is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuinton. Incredibly love this book. I know it came out a few years ago now, but again, with the movie coming out, I wanted to read the book before I watched the movie. So that's what I did, and I, again, couldn't put this book down. I started before I went to Lollapalooza, and I found myself literally reading it sitting on the Red Line, like coming home from Lollapalooza every night. Like I would sit down, pull up my phone, and start reading on my Kindle app and everything. That's just how good it was. Like reading it was one of those books that you read in weird places just because you're like, oh, like I can't wait to go home and like read this book or whatever, right? Amazing book. I think Casey is an incredible author. They just have this certain way of like capturing romances like this, especially queer romances. I think that is just so incredibly perfect. I haven't read Last Stop by them yet, but I am excited to now. I can't lie, when I had first seen it, something about it I just was like, I don't know if that would really be my jam. But after reading Red, White, and Royal Blue, I'm kind of like, I need to read everything that they've ever written, which is only those 2 books, I believe, and their 3rd one's coming out soon this year. But yeah, they're just an incredible author. I did love the movie. I think that Taylor and Nicholas were perfectly cast. I think everyone, honestly, in that movie pretty much was perfectly cast. I do agree with people, and I wish that it was a mini-series instead, because they just cut so much out of the book to make it a movie, and it did feel very rushed. And I will say, after like rewatching it, I think I've rewatched it 3 times maybe now, I do like it a lot better, and it does like feel kind of warm and cozy in an aspect, I guess, of like being able to see these characters come to life on the screen. Even if it's not fully the storyline that everyone wanted and was originally written, I still think that it was really nice to be able to see everyone and see them behave in like, you know, the way that these characters are. Because I think that Taylor and Nick did a perfect job of being Alex and Henry, and all of the little things that they do, the little glances, the little touches, all of that is just so incredibly them and so perfect. So the last category I want to talk about is music, and I think the best way to kind of go about that is to talk about like my top artists from my Spotify Wrapped, just because I guess that's kind of the best way to see like who I was really obsessed with, because obviously I was listening to them the most. So my top artist of the year was Fox Academy, which I think this is like my 2nd or 3rd, I don't even know how many years in a row this is, that Fox Academy has been my top artist. They are like one of my favorite bands. I found them many years ago. I think I found them back in like 2017, 2018, I think, back when I was like in middle school, I think. They are forever just one of my favorite bands. I think that they're probably always going to be on my top artists just because I do listen to them so much. I have a specific playlist that I listen to where, in my opinion, I think it is, the beginning is like perfectly like, it's perfectly crafted, the way that all the songs, I feel like, not exactly flow into each other, but like when I hear the one song, I'm like, oh, this song is gonna play next. I really do love them. Lavender Blood is my favorite song by them. I think that was probably in my top songs of the year. My 2nd top artist of the year was Lovejoy. I actually got to see them in concert 3 times last year as well, so that's actually crazy. They were on tour like literally non-stop. I saw them twice, just like regular, them on tour. I saw the original US tour, then I saw them at Lollapalooza, then I saw them on their Road to 100 tour. Incredible people to see live, just the whole band, they just have such amazing stage presence about them. I will say the fans, that's all I'll say. Yeah, just incredible. They have no bad songs. I can always, like, if I just want to put something on and be able to listen to an entire artist, like, I can shuffle Lovejoy because they have no skips, nothing. Like, I just love every single thing that they've ever put out. They're incredible, amazing. The new EP especially, I think, is their best work. I think it's just like, the sound is perfect. It is no notes. It's just amazing. My favorite Lovejoy song, I think, is Portrait of a Blank Slate. Again, that new EP just really was, it was everything. It was so good. It's amazing. My 3rd top artist of the year was actually Panic at the Disco. I got super back into them at the beginning of the year, specifically A Favor You Can't Sweat Out, because duh, obviously that's like their best album. Although I will say people shit on post-split Panic a little bit, and only a little bit too much than they should, because all the way up into Death of a Bachelor, those were good albums. Those were so good. And I don't remember exactly, what is it, Pray for the Wicked, I think, or whatever, the one that has like Silver Lining and Hey Look Ma, I Made It and everything. That was good at the time, I will say, because I remember being in middle school and that album came out and I was like, oh, new Panic at the Disco, like this is so good. I used to listen to it all the time. But it's just something that as I've gotten older, like I can kind of go back and listen to some songs, but it's not like A Fever You Can't Sweat Out or Pretty Odd, or even Vices and Virtues is probably one of my favorite albums of theirs, that I can just like put on and listen to the whole way through, you know? Like, I'm not gonna sit there really and listen to Hey Look Ma, I Made It. Anyway, yeah, but after that, like, especially the new album, no, I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. Yeah, so I got super into them. I think But It's Better If You Do is probably my favorite song off of A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. My fourth top artist of the year was Local Natives. I got to see them twice last year. I got a drumstick at one concert and I got a pick at the other concert, so that was really cool. I'll insert a picture here. I have this little thing on my wall. It's right up there actually. It's my set list that I got from them at Lollapalooza in 2022, along with my Lollapalooza bracelet. Pictures of me crying. I got a picture with Nick, the bassist, at Lollapalooza also. Shout out Kendra for flagging him down. Picture of all of them bowing. Well, yeah, all of them bowing at Lollapalooza. And then my pick is tucked into the side there and my drumstick is at the top. I think that my sisters are probably where I originally heard them from, but what really got me into them was I started playing Life is Strange a few years ago, and in one of the cutscenes they have this little montage, and the song Mount Washington by them is playing. And I heard that and I was like, this is, you know, this is a good song, I like this. So I started listening to that, and then I got really into the Hummingbird album in its entirety, and that is my favorite album by them. It's probably one of my favorite albums of all time. It's just so incredible. Again, no skips. I think my favorite song is probably Breakers, I want to say, just in general from them. I think all of their albums are amazing. I don't think they have a single bad album. Yeah, they're incredible to see in concert also. They're so incredibly nice. I actually got to meet them as well. Forgot about that for a second. I got to meet them. Here's my picture with them. They're so nice. I gave them all hugs and told them, you know, that I found them through Life is Strange, got to talk to them about how I saw them at Lollapalooza, and I had seen them like a month prior as well. So I was like, I just saw you guys, like you put on an incredible show and everything. And so yeah, that was really cool. They're an incredible band. They play incredibly live. I love them. They're kind of one of those bands that I think anytime they're remotely close to me, I'm definitely gonna, like, I will be buying tickets, so. And then my last top artist of the year was The Neighborhood. They snuck back in there. I don't think they've been on there for like a year or two, but The Neighborhood it's The Neighborhood. I'm a 2014 Tumblr girl at heart. Like, they're always gonna be one of my favorite bands as well. Like, the Wiped Out album is the best. It is so incredible. That and It's Hard to Imagine the Neighborhood Ever Changing. Just such incredible albums. Like, just incredibly amazing. I think what really got me back into them was the song Nervous this past year. Me and my friend Grace like would not shut the fuck up about that song, and played it an ungodly amount of times that I'm surprised it wasn't on my top songs of the year. Another song I like is, you know, Void, obviously, softcore. Baby Came Home, that's a really good one. I don't even know what my favorite song of theirs is. Like, Sweater Weather, Daddy Issues, of course, I'm always playing those constantly on repeat. I think Daddy Issues is like usually on my top songs of the year. That's kind of embarrassing to admit, but I'll admit it here because why not? I post my Spotify Wrapped anyway. I really hope to see them in concert sometime. It was a weird year to like The Neighborhood also because of the whole Jesse Rutherford, Billie Eilish thing that was going on. I was a hardcore Jesse and Devin lover, so that hit a little too hard. We've all seen the single music video. Okay, I'm never gonna move on from that. How can you? I don't know how you can. I I hope they're both doing well. It breaks my heart. I remember watching Devon's vlogs, like when she would go on tour with them and everything. I do have some special mentions for music as well. The first being Boston Manor. I got super into one of their EPs this year. Of course, I'm blanking on the name now. The song I Don't Like People and They Don't Like Me is what really got me into them. I heard that song and I was like, okay, this is incredible. Hello. It's the EP Desperate Times, Desperate Pleasures. That EP has, again, no skips. It's 5 songs. It's only like 20 minutes, I think, to listen to. And so incredible. Like, please give it a listen. I don't even know where I found the song, truthfully. But I don't know anyone else that knows Boston Manor, not to sound like one of those people, but I genuinely don't. I was super disappointed when they announced a small like US tour, because they're from the UK and they were not coming anywhere near me, and I was so upset because I was like, this is perfect timing, like I'm just getting into them and like they're coming on tour, but I could not see them, unfortunately. I haven't listened to a bunch of their other albums. I think the most, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. This is their newest album. I have listened to a few songs off there. I think Foxglove is probably my favorite song off of that. But they're just a really incredible band. I think they're really good, really underrated for sure. And then my next special mention, I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce his last name correctly, but is Ralph Castilli. Ralph Castilli is so fucking incredible. Like, I feel like I can't talk about him enough. If I didn't do the obsessions based on my top Spotify artists, I probably would have put him in there. What everyone knows him for is writing the song Morning Sex, and that was my #1 song on Spotify last year, actually, 2022. That song, obviously, it's incredible. It did super well, and then his songs like Moonlight or Rare. I think Rare is probably my favorite song of his, and his his newest song, Iris and I, which he wrote about his daughter, is just one of the sweetest songs you will ever hear in your entire life. It is so cute. I'm obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with his whole aesthetic and him just living his best life out in Alaska. And he also writes songs for so many incredible people, and I will branch that into the next special mention that I wanted to talk about, which is Glaive, who again will forever probably be one of my favorite artists. Ralph actually has produced quite a bit of Glaive's music. He produced quite a lot off of his newest album, I Care So Much That I Don't Care At All, which also was an incredible album, like just so amazing. I think my favorite song off of it would probably be The Car. It's so catchy. It's something that you can scream in the car with your friends, you know. It's an incredible song. I actually did get to see him live in concert with the world's worst crowd I have ever seen in my entire life, but totally worth it to see him. I got Barricade, that was awesome. I also got the signed CD and vinyl version of his album, which I am so incredibly happy to own because I just love him so much. I think he's an incredible artist. I think he's only like 19 years old now, I think. He's gonna do incredible things. All the music he's been teasing recently as well just sounds incredible. It's the perfect mix, I think, of his old sound and his new sound. I'm really excited to see where he goes. Again, he's another person I think that anytime he's around, I want to see him in concert just because I think he's so incredible. So if you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. I could probably make a million videos of these. I could even make videos getting into the specifics of some of these things, and I don't know, maybe that's something I'll do in the future, like do music talks or movie talks or whatever, just more about my general interests, I think, because again, it's something that I'm super into, so I could talk about it for literally hours, and maybe I should start talking to my camera instead of boring my family members with it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, obviously leave it a like, subscribe if you want to. I'm hoping to make more videos this year. I think that's all. Have a lovely day. Love you. Bye. Mwah.